The defensive line position is one of the most important positions on the defense as it requires players to be versatile in both the run and the pass. Now, there's two different types of defensive linemen that are on the field at all times. And the first one being defensive tackles. Now, these players are often bigger in stature. If you think of Vince Wilfork or any of these bigger, harder to move players, those are going to be your interior defensive tackles, as they're going to be taking on a lot of double teams, meaning the offensive line is going to try to use two guys to get them out of the way as opposed to just a one-on-one block. So we have defensive tackles that will play either on the offensive guard or they'll play on the offensive center, and they'll line up right there. And then essentially what they're trying to do is to just be as stout as they can during the run, eat up as many resources as they can, and try to get hands on offensive linemen. Other names for defensive tackles, you'll often hear a nose tackle, you'll often hear a shade where their alignment's going to be, and we'll actually link a video above where you can actually learn what those defensive techniques are. A 1 technique, a 3 technique, a shade. That's a whole nother video that we made that will go more into depth with that, but that's essentially what they are. Is the interior defensive tackles will have those multitude of names, but their job mainly is to be as stout as they can in the run. And then, of course, we'll talk about in a minute, attacking the pass and gutting the middle of the offensive line. The next portion of the defensive line is what we call defensive ends. Now, these are your longer, typically in the NFL, longer, faster speed rushers that average in about 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", that can really close the pocket on the quarterback, as well as set the edge to make sure no runs go outside to the sideline. So their job in particular is to line up outside of the tackle or outside of the tight end, and their job is to try to compress the pocket on run and on pass. Famous defensive ends in the NFL are like Khalil Mack, TJ Watt, these bigger, faster bodies that are able to compress the pocket and, again, make the quarterback worry about who is coming from the edges. That way they have to step up into the pocket. Now, the two main jobs for defensive linemen, of course, we talked about before, is they have to stop the run. So typically what defensive linemen do is their job is to punch the offensive lineman, try to find the football, but hold their gaps. And this is how you build a wall, so that way the running back has nowhere to run. And of course, they get support from the linebackers as well. So each coach has a different scheme, whether it be an odd front, an even front, whatever it may be. But their job when the offense runs the football is to try to build that wall, hold their gap, and then of course try to make a tackle. When the offense passes the football, they're trying to disengage the offense player as fast as they possibly can. Again, close that pocket and try to get a sack on the quarterback by rushing the passer as fast as they possibly can. Teams that have really good defensive line typically have a really good defense because they're able to send 3 or only 4 players at the quarterback to get sacks, and they don't have to blitz 5, they don't have to blitz 6. They can just get to the quarterback with 4. And this is usually where good teams are built from and good defenses are built from, is from having a very good defensive line. Now, that's what defensive linemen do in football. Learn about what linebackers do next here, because it will help you complete the picture of run fits and just how teams are able to stop the opposing offense by combining both the defensive linemen and what the linebackers do.